Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for GWBC Radio's Open for Business. Now, here's your host.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of GWBC's Open for Business, and this is going to be a fun one. We have with us today Nancy Williams, and she is with ASAP Solutions Group and WeFresh. Welcome, Nancy.
Good morning, Lee. How are you? First of all, are you surviving?
I am surviving. I am hanging in there. I'm excited to talk to you about your work. It sounds like you got a lot of things going. But before we get too far into things, tell us a little bit about both of your ventures, ASAP Solutions Group and WeFresh.
Oh, absolutely. ASAP Solutions Group has been in business since 1989. We are a total talent management company specializing throughout the U.S. with technology and professional services. And then we also have a company in India, too, in which we support U.S.-based clients in India, as well as a fairly large recruiting delivery team, too, over there. And WeFresh is an antimicrobial. That is what everybody's talking about today. That prohibits the growth of bacteria, mold, E. coli, MRSA, salmonella, while promoting freshness.
Now, did you find out about WeFresh through your work with ASAP Solutions? Like, how'd they get on your radar?
Oh, yeah. I always say, clients become your friends, become your supporters and everything. And one of the two foundation clients that we had when I started my partnership back in 1998 with ASAP was Anderson Consulting Accenture. And Accenture actually is the one that introduced me to the founder chemist of the product. And he was out of the UK, actually participating in their supplier development program. So through their encouragement, they were like, he wants to come to North America. You all have a great brand. You're collaborative. We think you guys should talk. So they kind of matchmaked us. So that's how we connected. And we have all the distribution rights for North America. And we actually just signed a deal with Kathy Ireland worldwide. And she is our global brand ambassador, as well as one of the members to our board of advisors. And I'm very excited to have a relationship and partnership with Kathy and her team. They're spectacular.
And that's a good lesson for our listeners about the importance of relationships and really getting to know your partners, so that there might be kind of tangential ways you can work together and help each other that may not be kind of on the menu items of things that you do or don't do, right?
Correct. Absolutely.
So now, how are you and your teams and your various ventures handling this kind of new world order that we have regarding the pandemic and a lot of remote work and things like that?
Well, I have to give kudos to my leadership team. I believe that in business, you surround yourself with incredibly smart people. And I always look at it as in what's your weakness? Go find your strength in someone else. And they put together the plan truly before even the virus hit about what would happen if something caused us to have to shut down. How would we go into a remote world? And was our technology systems in alignment? And oh my gosh, we have India, which is a different world within itself, and telecommunications and so forth. And would they be situated? So they integrated, implemented the plan first in the U.S. and then in India on a Sunday morning at 9 a.m. We had literally 3 hours to get everybody situated, all equipment, everything that they needed to have, so that when we went live on Monday, they were 100% engaged, effective, that they had everything that they needed to be successful, that they were safe, their families were safe, and I can't say enough about it. So we actually forecasted and everybody, business should do this. What happens in a situation like this? This is so unprecedented because we've never lived through this. And, everybody is going through those challenges. I think we've all adapted, but I also think, again, you've got to be able to pivot, right? Pivot to the new world. I don't think we will be going back to what used to be. I have this saying in life that it's not a matter of when it's going to change or if it's going to change, I should say. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And the when is now. And I mean, if you look at what's going on, within the retail industry, e-commerce is going, crazy. But, our brick and mortar stores aren't because they're shut down. Also, some of those did not have the right distribution systems. So even their e-commerce is shut down. So it's going to be an interesting world as we, continue on to this next phase.
Now, when you're working with your team regarding maybe your team has already been doing this remote work, so it's not new to you, but maybe some of your clients haven't kind of managed remote workers before. Do you have any tips or suggestions on how to keep the team motivated and going? I know a lot of people are doing kind of morning kind of huddles over Zoom or something like that, or maybe they're communicating more frequently. They had been in the past. Are you doing some things with your team to keep them, fired up as you are?
Yeah, we are. We do a morning meeting every morning across both worlds, where we all get together. We talk about current demand, what's going on with our clients, what are we seeing, and so forth. And I tell you, I think with the clients, it's been so different than 2008. It's 2008, especially in my world, in the technology world, everything shut down. We haven't really seen it shut down. We've seen demand slow down. But, people have done incredibly well with the remote work. I also come from the, you must inspect what you expect, right? And this is where we get to, accountable results, measurable, accountable results. And that's how we really drive that business is, can we measure it? Because if you can't measure it, it's really not going to be actionable. So you've got to really be in tune to let everyone know what the expectations are, how you're going to measure them, how you're going to expect it, and are you there to coach and mentor and care at the end of the day, right?
Right. Now, regarding the measuring, I'm sure when people started 2020, they had some projections and some numbers and revenue targets and things like that they were looking to hit, and then maybe they were on their way or weren't on their way, but wherever they were, when this thing started, it's a new world. So those numbers are kind of out the window, and in some cases, dramatically, and in some cases, like you said, maybe not so dramatically. Maybe in some cases it's better. But how do you help them kind of look at those numbers in a different way, or maybe reset expectations?
Well, when we're looking at numbers and so forth, I have a philosophy that you always have to be planting seeds for new clients and so forth. And those seeds, some might die and not bloom into a flower. Then some might become the most beautiful flowers you've ever seen, right? But it takes time and it takes persistence. And I call it having a pleasant persistence around engaging with your clients. So when we're looking at numbers, we don't believe in giving revenue expectations to our team that are not achievable. That would be literally setting them up for failure, right? So surprisingly enough, most of them are pretty well on their way to achieving the results that that is needed, right? Mm-hmm. So it's again, investing in relationships. People at the end of the day are still going to deal with people that they trust. And how do you get into that inner circle of trust with your clients and so forth? And that is one thing when we go and we do all these studies from the market research and we say, to our clients, what do you think of them? And almost always they say trust a partner. So that's what we're seeing. I think we'll go back some. I know some of my competitors have gone back significantly. And that's mainly not because they don't do a great job. It's just, unfortunately, the industries that they were heavy in got hit the most, like, airlines, right?
Right. Travel, sure.
And we know it's right. Travel, hospitality. We were a little in that, but not a ton. Mm-hmm. So, blessing as it is, we didn't really see the hit like some of the others have.
Now, you're active with the GWBC. How has that organization and organizations like that helped you through this crisis in terms of maybe giving you information that you didn't have, or maybe made you aware of some things you weren't aware of, as well as just the support of kind of like-minded people all kind of in there together, and maybe even some business opportunities?
Yeah, it's I've had the pleasure of being on the board of directors, board of directors for a number of years, both for GWBC and then prior to WeBank, as well as part of the leadership committee and so forth, as one of the chair emeritus to the National Forum. The information that's coming out to all small businesses, medium-sized businesses, diverse businesses it's a lot. I mean, I probably get, 20 emails a day about, the PPP and what you need to know, what you need to do. And with WeBank, I'm part of the Women at Distinction. And that's a group of ladies, it's about 18 of us, that have really invested a great deal in building the organization to what it is now. So we're on WhatsApp and it ranges from, several million to a couple billion in revenue dollars and stuff. So, and we're all there to support each other. And we wouldn't have that support if we all hadn't been engaged with WeBank and our local RPOs and gotten to know each other and thought leadership around it. So, it's like I tell WBEs and MBEs too, is if you want to build your brand, get engaged, right? I'm a big football person, right? And I believe, business is like football, 4 quarters, right? And you have your team and you have your fans. Well, you can stay on the sideline and just watch the game being played, or you could be in the game and be part of the team that drives it. WeBank and GWBC, they give a lot of information to the WBEs. Very, very incredible, insightful information. And I'll give you a perfect example. And why you need to be engaged is I got a message for the leadership forum, the Women's Leadership Forum. And Toyota came across a bank, and it went out to all of us that were part of the forum that said they have money. If anybody needs to apply, call this person. Toyota. You would never have heard that in the paper, right? So it's a community. It's a community that supports. You have to still earn the business, but it supports you in how you earn that business. And that's what that organization is all about.
And I think you said it at the beginning that it's all about relationships, and the way that you make relationships work are you show up, you do the work, you're trustworthy, You're watching other people's back.
Right.
It's not all about you. It's how you can serve. And if you demonstrate those behaviors over time, then you're going to bear the fruits of those relationships over time. Mm-hmm. And it's not an instant solution. It isn't like I join and then I win. It's I join and I show up and I do the work and then maybe I win.
I mean, I have a client I was just on a Zoom meeting with, and I've participated. We were the first in their supplier development program, and I've known them trying to position a solution to them. I am not joking, for 6 years. 6 years has taken me to get to where I am now with them. And that's the hardest thing is like I keep going back. You got to plant those seeds. You got to water, the seeds and the plants, and you got to nurture and give them the right fertilizer so they continue to grow. And then eventually, if you do everything right, they're going to be beautiful flowers for you. But if you don't take those steps, it's not going to happen. And you might be lucky, right, and land something, because it's all in timing too. Everything is timing in business and luck. I'd rather be lucky than good, right? I want to be both, but I need luck that helps us propel and so forth. So you got to be pleasantly persistent. And here's the thing with now is everybody, I think we all went through this shock, right? I mean, I had a client go, I can't do anything. I can't talk. I can't, I'm like, okay, calm down. Number one, are you okay? How's your family? How are you? How are you holding up? And this is a time where you're going to either build wonderful relationships or just casual relationships. And, I always say invest in those that you really enjoy being around. You believe in that client's product and brand. You believe in their core values. And, I call them dream clients that you want to continually delight with the experience of life. And when you delight your client, they will delight you back.
Amen to that. Great advice, Nancy. Thank you so much for sharing your story today. If somebody wants to learn more about your work, whether it's at ASAP Solutions Group or WeFresh, what are the websites of both of those, please?
Very easy. One is www.myasap.com, and the other is www.mywefresh.com.
Good stuff. Well, once again, thank you for sharing your story. You're doing important work, and you're really making a difference.
Thank you, and hope that all the listeners, please stay safe, please stay healthy, please wash those hands, and be strong. We will get through this.
You're right. We will. This is Lee Cantor. We will see you all next time on GWBC Radio.